Hey, welcome back to No Head Beer Review. Very excited for today's beer. It's Alchemist Beelzebub, which is an American Imperial Stout at 8% ABV. Beelzebub being Lord of the Flies. There's a fly on it. Makes sense. I like Alchemist stuff. I looked out actually a local bar yesterday. My wife and I were there with another couple on a double date, and they had a Heady Topper and Focal Banger. So I've had a lot of Alchemist the last 2 days. Well, I will be having a lot of Alchemist the last 2 days, relatively speaking. They don't put dates on the bottom of their cans, but I've had this a while. I don't remember how long, but I mean, we're talking many months, probably winter time, and it's the end of August, well, middle to end of August now. But anyway, pretty excited for this. I've had it before, I remember liking it. Um, I don't remember too much specifically about it. I don't remember having that much head. Holy crap. Being an American Imperial Stout, I'm thinking it's going to be relatively hoppy, decent level of bitterness. Let's see, almost three fingers ahead. Super dark cocoa mocha. Yeah, geez. What you're seeing is basically, yeah, actually looks like almost exactly what I'm seeing. Um, Dark beer as well, tiny bit of brown at the bottom, but that's, you can see how it's a little bit, but it's mostly black. The bubble's super teeny tiny compact, and then you have some of these bigger, well, like medium size, small to medium actually. Now I think about it, and they're starting to break up more and more. Hasn't really gone down, but it's like getting less dense. Yeah, definitely looks like a big stout. Let's get to the aroma. You definitely are getting a mix of like your typical roasty stout quality, with some hop. The hop is tough, geez, because it's not super citrusy, but it's probably the closest I'm getting. So yeah, definitely some citrus, although I'm getting the pine and some of that almost menthol, like what like pine can approach when it's so lush and evergreen, like it can kind of approach minty ethanol, or not ethanol, menthol, I mean. It's approaching that. Smells quite good. I don't know if that sounds like it smells good. And that citrus is actually less than I originally got, but it doesn't come across like one of those like chocolate orange balls, like they look like an orange made out of chocolate. You smash them, they break them into pieces. It doesn't have that aroma. It's very much that hops that kind of smell like citrus. But yeah, definitely getting the roast, the coffee, some chocolate, like dark chocolate notes. It's such a specific smell. I think it'd be really easy to do this one blind and know that's going to be an Americanized kind of imperial stout with that hop presence, not as malty as what I would think of as like a Russian imperial stout. Um, but yeah, it's funny. The head's going down. It looks great. Let's get into the glass. Cheers. It's interesting though. The taste is quite similar to the nose. At first, I was getting more citrus from the hops. Then it moved to pine and I don't know the taste, if I can say it approaches like this mint element, but definitely some of that pine is there. Then it comes back to citrus, and and again, it sounds like a contradictory statement, but it does have this citrus peel, like that specific taste with dark chocolate, but it doesn't quite taste like I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's out there, dark chocolate that has orange peel in it. It doesn't taste like that though. So it's like such an odd descriptor because those two things are present, but when I eat those two things when they're made together, it doesn't quite have that. Perhaps even though it's dark chocolate, the lack of sweetness, although this is not a very sweet beer, um, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to try to convey what it tastes like. I'll put it that way. In terms of like the traditional stout qualities that do come through, huge roast, huge coffee. You're getting like espresso coffee. which is awesome and super wonderful, very fitting, pleasant, love it. And it plays the bitterness of the espresso plays well with the bitterness of the perception of hops that you're getting. Some of that bitterness that I'm getting with the espresso might be some of that hop bitterness, but they play well together. What is, if that makes sense, what is left from the two. Um, in terms of alcohol, very little bit present, very little. Um, yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm not a huge like black IPA guy. Typically, like my stouts drinking like stouts, my IPAs drinking like IPAs, but this is approaching that because of how much of that hop presence and bitter. It's not, super malty. Um, yeah, I love this beer. I don't know if that's coming across or not, but short version, this is great. I love it. It's good with some age on it. I like it fresh as well. A lot of stouts I've been drinking lately, yeah, and been doing like a lot of barrel aged ones. You get like that vanilla, the oak, all that kind of stuff. It's so interesting to have one that doesn't have any of that. But yeah, great beer, super solid. It's Alchemist, obviously. They know how to make beer. Um, I recommend it if you like these things. It's great. Check me out on Instagram on Untapped. No hype beer reviews about those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.